We're going to take a look at two quick articles because EDB is fascinated by the massive, massive breach of Canvas, the digital educational platform. Canvas digital platform used by universities back up after ransom hack. Apparently it is up for some, though not all universities. This is coming from USA Today. Not all universities, elementary, high school, like there are entire school districts that are down. Not everybody's back up, and a lot of finals had to be postponed. Canvas digital platform used by universities back up after ransom hack, they say. Canvas is a learning management platform that is used by thousands of schools and universities, including like entire districts. Was down for hours on May 7th after a cyber attack. It's not up everywhere from what I'm seeing. Disrupting access to grades and coursework during spring final season for many. Yeah, it took people out while they were in the middle of finals. Colleges and universities across the United States, including University of Michigan, Harvard, and Penn State, disclosed May 7th that Canvas had reported a security incident and was experiencing an outage. Most of their screens went black with ransomware notification. The hacking group ShinyHunters claimed responsibility for the alleged breach at Instructure. Instructure is the company that owns Canvas. The group that took responsibility for it claimed nearly 9,000 schools worldwide were affected, and that the data of 275 million individuals, including teachers, students, and other staff, was stolen. ShinyHunters gave affected schools a deadline of May 12th to, quote, negotiate a settlement, according to CNN, and told Instructure to pay or leak. I don't know what kind of information's in the back end of Canvas that could be leaked, but school educational materials are protected by law. So if even like disciplinary actions or emails regarding disciplinary actions got out, that could also open up the schools to liability. It can cause absolute havoc. This is going to cause massive issues because the universities are having to scramble. The amount of money it's going to cost them is not insubstantial. And it reminds me that maybe, just maybe, if all of our materials for all of our classes and everything we are doing is digital, there is no backup, and that is a problem. As of May 8th, Instructure said it found no evidence that, quote, passwords, dates of birth, government identifiers, or financial information were involved in the data breach. I don't know if I believe that, because here's the thing. A lot of these databases scramble that so it's encrypted. So it might just be a matter of time before that gets unwound, but also the no evidence, I don't necessarily believe that. It did say names, email addresses, student ID numbers, and messages among Canvas users were accessed. Right. So I don't necessarily believe that passwords, dates of birth, and government identifiers weren't part of this. And the fact that they say, we just don't see any evidence of it yet. Okay. On May 8th, Canvas was again available for most users. Based on chat, that's not entirely accurate. According to a status update on operator Instructure's website. So they're saying it's back up. I imagine the university ITs have locked this all down and can't get it back up yet until they figure out what else has gotten into their system. So even if they're like, hey guys, we're back up. No, you're not. Additionally, Instructure said that Canvas is fully back online and available for use. Instructure says it contacted impacted organizations on May 5th, and that students, parents, and employees at affected schools should take whatever action is suggested by their individual institutions. EDB has a suggestion. Also, if you were made vulnerable to this, universities and other educational institutions might not have the ability to pay for you to have things like credit monitoring, which happens when there are large hacks of like banks and what have you. They go on to say, in the meantime, It is always a good practice to be cautious of unexpected emails or messages referencing this incident. Avoid clicking suspicious links and report anything unusual to your school or institution's IT or security system. Right, because they're all having the best week ever, and what they have time for is everyone saying, what is this email? Earlier, the company said Canvas and other related sites had been placed in maintenance mode, and it was investigating an issue where some users are having difficulties logging into student e-portfolios. That's an understatement. They go on to say that a blog post by cybersecurity company Malwarebytes, that's actually a great name, recommends several additional tools for those affected institutions. Well, you know what I've recommended. Also, yes, multi-factor authentication, but the lawners already have done that. Hacking group ShinyHunters claimed responsibility, they say, for the breach, according to a blog post by Malwarebytes. And they said in the ransom note, do we have a picture of the ransom note? Because I have one, but I'd like to see it. ShinyHunters has a history of compromising global corporations. Reuters reported in April, the group said it had stolen nearly 80 million business records from video developer Rockstar Games. Is this why Grand Theft Auto's not out yet? I didn't even know about that one. I will say, I hope that universities deal with the disruption well. This type of disruption is kind of difficult to shake off and reset from. I feel for the students that are going through this. It really is a difficult thing to just now try to reset and get back to class. Really tough. I will offer a note, though, that sometimes this was all disrupted, we're just going to send it and whatever happens, happens. Sometimes you actually do better because you're not putting any pressure on yourself. So if you are in the situation where this is causing an undue amount of stress, it might be okay to just be like, you know what? We're as prepared as we're going to be. Everybody's in the same boat. Fuck it. It's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be. Just let it be. Because what else can you do? We can't do anything about this. This is the screenshot that I saw. ShinyHunters rooting your systems since 2019. Winky smiley face. ShinyHunters has breached Instructure again. Instead of contacting us to resolve it, they ignored us and did some, quote, security patches. Warning, if any of the schools in the affected list are interested in preventing the release of their data, please consult with a cyber advisory firm and contact us privately at TOX to negotiate a settlement. You have till the end of day, 12 May 2026, before everything is leaked. Instructure still has until EOD, 12 May 2026, to contact us. Download the affected schools list, .text, visit us, and then they link to their website. This is what people were seeing on their computer screens as they were trying to log in. Do not go visit these links. The media has visited the links and downloaded these things. Don't go to these links. There is one other news article I'm going to share with you that has some interesting breaking news about this morning. Some schools and universities whose students' data was stolen by a cyber criminal hacking group as part of an April breach of the educational tool Canvas. New information in this. April breach. Individually sought to deal directly with the hackers and prevent data release. A source familiar with the matter told Reuters on Friday. ShinyHunters, a hacking group with a string of data theft and extortion campaigns targeting major global companies, said in a May 3rd post on its website that it had stolen roughly 6.6 terabytes of Canvas data. That doesn't seem like that much data, though. But maybe because it's text, it's just not as heavy as like video data. Related to nearly 9,000 schools worldwide that included student names, email addresses, private messages between teachers, students, and other staff. Student newspapers across the country reported this week that the hack was causing widespread disruption as students prepare for end-of-the-year tasks and assignments, exams. The software is used by schools to facilitate class assignments and information sharing, as well as messages between students and faculty. On May 5th, the group posted a message saying that Canvas's parent company had not even bothered speaking to us to prevent the data leak, and that their demand was not even as high as you might think it is. The hackers are petty. We didn't even ask for that much money. They don't give a shit about you. The message included a list of roughly 1,400 individual schools and districts and invited the schools to contact them to negotiate to prevent the data from being posted. The Cornell Daily Sun reported Friday that the Canvas hack disrupted students trying to study for final exams. Instructure announced in a May 1st post to its support website that it was investigating a cybersecurity incident. Excuse me. May 1st? You put it on your support website on May 1st that you were investigating a cybersecurity incident. Oh boy. A post the next day, signed by the Chief Information Security Officer, Steve Proud, I'm reading that correctly, I think, said that the, quote, information involved included Canvas usernames, email addresses, student ID numbers, and messages among users. That was May 2nd. How are institutions just notifying people of this on May 8th? That's 7 days later. In a May 6th update, the company said the situation was resolved and that Canvas was fully operational. You taunted them? Hey, everybody, we fixed it. And then ShinyHunters went, the fuck you did? This period of time is where the lawsuit lives. That's the period of time where the lawsuit lives. I imagine that because they put it on their support website, they might not have even reached out to institutions at that time. Can you imagine how pissed IT at the institutions must be? On May 7th, students at multiple schools, that's understating it, reported attempting to log into Canvas and finding a note from ShinyHunters with a link to the list of affected schools. Don't click the link. Instructure supports Canvas, Canvas Beta, and Canvas Test. They were all offline a short time, but restored access 4 hours later. I don't think access has fully been restored everywhere. ShinyHunters pulled both messages off its website as of May 7th, replacing them with a message saying that they were not commenting and have no further comment to make regarding this global incident. A group representative declined to answer questions from Reuters sent via online chat. They go on to say that extortion and ransomware groups pull claims about victims off their websites for any number of reasons, including sometimes that a target has paid or is in negotiations. A note sent to the parents from South Orange Maplewood School District Friday said a security breach occurred April 25th, and that Instructure detected unauthorized activity April 29th. Let me reset what I said. Here's the beginning of where the lawsuit lies. Breach on April 25th, detected April 29th, posted on the website May 1st, but it seems that that was not disclosed other than the public posting to the institutions. Then on May 6th, they said, we're all good. And then on May 7th, ShinyHunters said, no, you're not all good. We're going to tell all your users that they can't access Canvas. Adorable. Montgomery County Public Schools in Maryland told students, staff, and families in an email Friday that Canvas was returning to service, but that the district was continuing to restrict access out of an abundance of caution until all services have been reviewed and confirmed safe for use. Right, because they don't want it to infect all of the district computers. Of course, but the data's already gone, which means no matter what the institutions do from now, that data is going to end up on the internet at some point. They say that Canvas has 30 million active users between kindergarten and college age, according to the website. Then if they've got 30 million active users, but they are saying that they have the data of over 250 million students, that answers some of our questions, doesn't it? They have 30 million active users, but the information of over 250 million students, teachers, and faculty, they say they have. So that seems to include non-active users. Oh boy. So what's going to happen now with the Canvas hack? Well, make sure that you're taking your information seriously when it is on the internet. I will always recommend that you have separate email addresses, which is a lot, but the email address you use for the school things, the email address you use for like signing up for, I don't know, rewards at Publix or whatever, so that they are at least separated. So if something gets out, it doesn't take everything down. I am so sorry to everyone who's having to deal with all of this. It is hugely stressful, but it is not going to stop happening. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss updates on your favorite cases, you're going to need the Law Nerd app at lawnerdapp.com. That way you can stay in the loop on the cases that matter most to you, and you never know when you're going to catch feelings for a new case. So make sure you get it for free on iOS and Android. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a law nerd.